Hey y'all, how's it going? Welcome back. It's Mia, and today we are discussing The Bad Batch Season 2, Episodes 1 and 2. Actually, first of all, before we get into it, I just want to take some time to wish you guys a Happy New Year. If you want to cut to the chase, I'll leave a timestamp of when I end my shenanigans, but yeah, I just want to say I am happy to be back. Thanks for sticking around with me while I took kind of like a week off just to do nothing. It felt great. I hope you guys had a chance to just do nothing as well and enjoy this time to be with your family or have some downtime or anything like that. And so yeah, I really needed that week off just to say, you know what, I'm just not going to do anything. But at a certain level, you reach a point where you've done too much of nothing and you're like, okay, I need to get up and I need to do something. So I'm glad that I could jump back in this week and start doing more videos. I'm excited to share with you guys my most anticipated TV shows of 2023 and most anticipated movies of 2023. I've been looking forward to making that video for a while now. There's gonna be 2 videos, so I'm excited about that. But otherwise, let's dive into The Bad Batch Season 2. I can't believe we're actually at Season 2, and I don't feel like I'm super invested in The Bad Batch still. I watched all of Season 1, and I will be watching all of Season 2. Just know right now that I am not going to be covering every single episode. And that's mostly because where I see this going, it's going to be 16 episodes, and as we can kind of see from just the way the first 2 episodes went, I feel like it's kind of going to be like the Clone Wars, where there's going to be because there's 16 episodes, there's going to be some filler episodes, but maybe some things happening where, like, as I was mentioning, like with the first 2 episodes, you have one episode where it starts things off and you think it's going to be over in that one episode, and then it carries over into the next episode, or sometimes 3 episodes. So I don't really feel like the way that the Bad Batch is set up, it really necessitates me kind of covering it week to week to week. So we'll see. I'm going to dive in here and there and see how things go. But I will say it was off to a pretty decent start. I wouldn't say an astounding start. I think the first season had a really strong start right out of the gate, taking you from the Clone Wars Season 7 right into kind of what happens to a clone after Order 66, right? I was so close to saying Order 99, but then I was like, no, they're the Clone Troop 99. I was like, where's that coming from? Anyway, so yeah, they had a really, really strong opening just because in Season 1, it was something that we really hadn't seen before on screen in the Star Wars universe. So I really like that. And with this episode, it kind of started out the way that pretty much any other episode that season would have gone, right? In the middle of a mission, go to Sid, pick up the next mission, and now we're on to the next mission. And it really, it didn't move anything too forward. But here's what I did like. What I did like is that in that beginning, while they're talking to Sid laid it out. She was like, and this is what I think is going to happen with the rest of the season. Like, hey, I know you guys are tired of doing missions for me. I know the audience is tired of you guys taking missions from me and it just being repetitive over and over and over. So you do this mission with Dooku's war chest, get in, get out, you get all the credits you can ask for, and you never have to see me ever again. I was like, thank you. So I'm glad that they kind of not so subtly spelled out where this season is going, or where at least I hope this season is going, and I'm glad that the creators kind of picked up on that wasn't so fun. And I also did like that when they were about to start the mission, going over to Dooku's palace, and one of the clones was talking to Hunter, and they were like, hey, there's people out there who could use our help, other people who could use our services from the Empire. And I'm like, yeah, I think that's a pretty good way to take the season and the series as a whole, if we just kind of move into the whole let's be of service to the galaxy. So I did like that. It seemed like that's where they're laying out this entire plan. Otherwise, the first episode, like I said, was just sort of okay. Seeing Dooku's palace, I don't really watch a lot of Clone Wars, so if that's where you've seen that before, I never got to that part. So I think it's the thought that counts. So, sure, that was pretty good. But then the second episode, to me, I kind of fell off on that one. Honestly, maybe that could have just been one long 45-minute episode and they just kept it bunched together, or maybe they split it up because they're trying to meet a quota. But I just wasn't feeling the second episode. We knew that they were going to wrap up the mission and they were going to be fine. So I don't know, maybe it's just me. I wasn't so invested in that second one. But when I'm surprised, unless I just completely fell asleep and missed it, I'm surprised that there was a lack of Crosshair in the first 2 episodes, specifically because, I mean, we had this big build-up with him in the season 1 finale where it was like, hey, Crosshair did something that was kind of nice, right? He let his comrades go, and so now he's got this big thing that he's dealing with. I guess just trying to find his place in all this, even though, you know, we kind of already knew he had his inhibitor chip out, right? So he was already acting on his own accord. He wasn't being controlled by the Empire or Palpatine or anything like that. So it does show that he was kind of siding with the Empire on his own free will. So now the thing is, hey, let's check up on him and see what's going on. Because he's a part of this team. Let's not waste any time seeing what Crosshair is doing. Because I'm sure he's a really complicated character. I really like his character, and I think he's kind of really vital to the series as a whole. So yeah, that's what I like to see in this next coming season. We need some Crosshair. I'm also interested to see what they do with Admiral Rampart. We did get to see him at the end of episode 2 in this season, and you know, his whole deal is that I believe he kind of works under Tarkin, and he's the kind of guy who is, his whole thing is transitioning the Empire from clone troopers to human stormtroopers. And so we see that he's still using clone troopers within his own force for that war chest job. So I think that could be an interesting prospect, again, to continue to see how the Empire transitioned from clones to humans. It's not like the First Order where they had like child soldiers, didn't they? So we don't have to watch these soldiers be raised. They're just gonna, I guess, just recruit them by the boatload. So that's something that maybe I would like to see as well, kind of, if we're looking at this from the whole troopers angle. Basically, that's the angle that this story is being told from, and I could just see Rampart being just the big bad in this season as well, just trying to stop them, maybe kind of like how the Inquisitors are kind of like the overarching big bad, and Rebels. Yes, Rebels. That's definitely what I wanted to say. So yeah, there's a couple of ways that they can use him this season, especially if I'd like to see an overarching plot for this season. So I think he would kind of be the focal point for that. And then lastly, I'm interested to see what they do with Omega. Omega, just because seriously, I didn't like her character in season 1. It's like the annoying voice, and she always has to be right, like the kid knows best. It's just been, for me, I'm like, the kid can't know best every single time. Like, come on, these are trained clone troopers who are the best of the best, the elite squad, and they have a child dictating every single thing, that they're supposed to do, or making sure, basically, whenever Omega says something like, hey, don't do that, do this, because it will be the moral high ground, it always ends up being right. So I would just like once for Omega to be wrong, and I would like for her to maybe see that, sometimes a child cannot always be right 100% of the time. Me as a kid, I was never right 100% of the time. You make mistakes, and so I think that's what I'm complaining here, but I would like to see a more fallible Omega, not just kind of like this brainy know-it-all who will always get it right all the time. I think that will make her character a little bit more rounded out when you have faults and flaws. And then also it offers room for growth because, hey, she made a mistake, but you'll learn next time not to do that same thing. And the Bad Batch, I'm sure, have a lot of things to teach her. So why not learn from each other? I mean, the only thing she learned from them is family and, the classes of ships. I think that's a great kind of spot to put Omega in, especially because she's still a child. So you can't ask her to do a ton. I just want her to have a little couple of flaws. So I actually said a lot more than I thought I was going to say about the Bad Batch, just because, I mean, like I said, it's an interesting time period, it's an interesting group of characters, and so I think that the Bad Batch has a lot of potential, I'll say that much. And so I'm just hoping they just cut out the Sid stuff, 80% of it, Sid can go bye-bye, bring in an overarching plot to kind of help to tie the series together a little bit more, give them more purpose, give Omega a little bit more of a, well-rounded character, and giving her some faults or some flaws or areas of improvement. and then I think you've got yourself a good show. And bring in Crosshair. Don't just like kind of save him for the middle, like, oh, you know, all of a sudden here's Crosshair, I know you've been waiting for him. No, bring him in early. We really do need him. He's a great part of the team. So I think I'm gonna leave it there, guys. Let me know what you've been thinking about the Bad Batch so far, where you like to see the series go, and also please do stick around if you're new, because we're gonna be talking about a lot of Star Wars. I mean, we have The Mandalorian Season 3 coming out this year. I am so freaking excited, and the Ahsoka series. So we got a lot of cool stuff coming in Star Wars, and of course I'll be covering Marvel and all the other cool things that are coming out this year as well. So please do stick around. Please do subscribe. We're so close to 400 subscribers, so I'm excited to see this community growing in the new year, and I know we're going to do a lot of cool things. So please, like I said, like this video, comment on this video, subscribe on this channel, and I don't know, I'll see you next time. Bye.